What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the DC Collectibles DC Icons Supergirl. Now here we do have Supergirl in the packaging. You can see she does come with some interchangeable hands, some heat ray effects, and an alternate head, which we'll get more into that later. It does say Supergirl right here on the side. She is the 25th figure of the Icons line. We do have her emblem right here, DC Icons. And this is the Supergirl from Rebirth, which is a really good story. I recommend you guys check it out. Other figures of this line do include Nightwing, of course Supergirl, and the 2-pack of the Super Sons, Superboy and Robin. Really excited to have this girl in hand, so what we're going to do now is take a little break, get her opened up, and then we'll go into the rest of her review. So sit tight, everyone. And so here we have Supergirl posed and out of the packaging. Before we get onto the figure, let's actually talk about the accessories she does come with. She does come with 2 heads. We have the head that she has on her right now, and then she does come with an alternate head in which you can attach the laser or her heat beam eyes, and it looks really nice, although it kind of looks creepy when you don't have the eyes attached in, and I don't know how to properly get it in, so the pictures are going to probably show you. And then she also does come with 3 pairs of hands. She does have the fist hands that she has on her out of packaging. She also does have a pair of grip hands. And then she also has a pair of flight hands, which they all look really nice, and they all just interchange on this peg system right here. Which, it's a small peg, I'm not going to lie to you, so use caution when putting it back in and moving it around, because you might end up breaking that joint. And that's something I want to talk about Supergirl. She seems like a really thin figure, and I know it's not the figure itself, it's just the way she's based, or the design that she's based off. Her arms do feel a little thin, and getting it out of packaging, this arm was completely frozen. I did have to take the hairdryer to it to get it to move around, but it does feel really fragile, and I am worried that messing around with her too much is going to break her, so I do have to be careful with that. And it does look like the pegs in her arm want to pop out, so I'm going to have to take a look at that in a little bit. But overall, really nice detail on Supergirl here. This is actually the first Rebirth Supergirl figure that we get. Let's actually have a look at her details really fast. Taking a look at her face, they did a really good job sculpting her face. Now this is supposed to be the new 52 Supergirl, just in her Rebirth costume, so if you've been reading the new 52, this is the same Supergirl, but she does have an updated costume, and they did a really good job on her face, although it doesn't look like her eyes properly line up. It might just be my imagination. It's also a little shame that she doesn't have a softer sculpt. She kind of looks a little older. I know she's supposed to be like a teenager, and I kind of wish that the sculpt reflected that, because she looks a little older, but it's still a really nice figure. Her hair is a really soft plastic. You can see she has that new 52 Superman emblem on her chest. I really love the shade of blue that they went with on this Supergirl. And then she also does have the family crest on the back. You can see they did a good job painting her hands right here where the material meets the flesh. Her belt is almost like a gold color, and it looks really good on her. You can see it goes all the way around. Really do like that. Her skirt is a softer piece, and it's done really well. There's no slits in it, so do be careful when moving her legs out. You can see she is wearing the thigh-high boots, which look really nice. No shading on the boots, but they are cast in red plastic, so at least it's all uniform from the boot all the way down. Now, we don't have another Supergirl to compare her with, because this is actually the first Rebirth Supergirl that we actually get. So there's really not much to compare her with, but she does have a really nice S symbol sculpted on her chest. So let's actually move her out off to the side really fast, and then we'll bring in the Rebirth Superman so you can see how they compare to one another. So we'll just set the camera up right there, and we bring in the Rebirth Superman, and you can see that Superman is just slightly taller than her. She does have a little bit of height to her, and I do like the fact that they are trying to portray a more older Supergirl, but I kind of like the teenage Supergirl a little better. Let's move Superman off to the side. Moving on to her articulation, she does have a ball joint in the head, if I can just pop her head off really fast. It's a ball joint, but it doesn't really give too much movement forward or back, so it's mainly going to be used for side-to-side movement because it really doesn't offer too much up and down movement in her head. Some side-to-side, no pivot. Arms go out to about this far, but they would go out further, but you can see her cape is moving them back, and even though her cape is this really nice soft plastic, it does push the arms back down when you get them out too far. If it wasn't for the cape, she could do a full 360, but that's about as high as you're going to get her arm before the cape starts snagging. She has a bicep joint right here. She is double jointed in the elbow, but use caution when bending that joint because she does have thinner arms and you might end up breaking that if you're too rough with it. All her hands have that same peg hinge, so we do get a swivel as well as an in and out hinge. She does have a diaphragm joint which doesn't really provide much other than side to side rotation and then some lean or some tilt both side to side. We get a little bit of back, very little forward, but moving to our lower ab torso we do get a little bit going back and quite a bit going forward, and I do like that this is actually providing her with a lot of articulation going forward. Legs go out to about that far. You can see they are on a ball joint, so we can get her legs out. They go forward and back. No thigh swivel, but they do rotate on that joint a little bit. She doesn't appear to have a drop-down hinge, which I guess it makes sense because they didn't want to break up the sculpt in here too much, but you really wouldn't see it, so I don't know why they didn't just go ahead with it. She does have double joint in the knee, so it works really well. A hinge in the ankle, which goes forward and back. We also did get forward-facing pin for rocker, and that's pretty much it for Supergirl. So what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get a pose for my final thoughts, then we'll wrap up this review, so sit tight everyone. So here we have Supergirl pose for my final thoughts. One accessory I did forget to mention is that she does come with this display base, but it's supposed to be a flight stand, but it really doesn't work because you have to peg her on at an angle, and eventually what that does is that it wears down this joint right here, and you can see mine is already kind of loose, and if you have her on there too long, you're just going to wear out her ankle. So I like the fact that they tried to give us something new, but it just doesn't work. With that out of the way, guys, I do really recommend this Supergirl if you're a fan of Supergirl, if you've been reading her comics. If you want a really nice Supergirl to throw into your Icons collection, this is a figure for you. She is going to run you about $28 at your local comic book store and specialty stores, which it's a little bit of a price increase from the previous Icon figures that were $20 and now they're $28, and that's mainly because they're not making these as much as they used to, and it's a line that is slowly dying down, so we're not going to get too many more Icon figures for the foreseeable future. We do have this final wave, then we have a reissue for Superman and Batman, and then Superman vs. Doomsday, but other than that, the Icon line is, I'm going to guess, officially dead in the water at this point. But this is still a really nice figure. Really glad I was able to pick her up. If you're a fan of Supergirl, you're going to want to have this figure in your collection. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, check out all my other DC collectible reviews, as well as everything else on my channel. If there's a figure you would like to see me review, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. And if there's room for it in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.